Hey YouTube. I thought I would just do kind of like my own honest opinion of the E36 M3. I've owned 4 of them. I've been fortunate enough to own an Avis Blue, a Hellrod Red, and Alpine White, and I've had this one for about a year, and it's of course it's the launch color, the Dakar Yellow, which I think is just a awesome color. It definitely makes me smile every time I just look at it. Not many colors can, give you that eccentric energy. But I'm a huge fan of this color and the Daytona Violet purple and the Estoril blue. So I've never owned those colors. It's kind of always been something I've sought after, but I've been fortunate enough to buy this one. And I'm gonna just do like a quick little, walk around of the car and just kind of the story behind it, and that this one's a survivor. It's got 207,000 miles on it. It's on the original clutch. I know when I tell that to some people, they don't believe me, but it's on the original clutch. The car was all original up until December. I had a little incident with a deer. But it's all along the rear end, it's the original paint. So I'm just doing a quick walk around. And a cool little thing, I know a lot of E36 M3s, you'll see the windshields are always, they're prone to cracking very easily, but this one still got the original windshield. Still has the original bumper, which is pretty cool, with the painted fin grille, which that's kind of how you could tell it was a 95 too. It was always painted the same color as the color of the vehicle. But yeah, this is the car. Hold on one second. There's a truck coming by. And sorry, I'm just gonna do like a one-take video. I don't know how to really edit, and I'm not really deep in the YouTube world, but I just kind of want to just state my opinion on these cars. My non-biased opinion, just for what the car is, and that's it. To me, it's always gonna be under $20,000 car. I remember when E36 M3s, you could find clean examples for like 15,000. I mean, great examples. And now it's just ridiculous what the market has become. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to own some cool colors back in the day, and I was able to buy this one last year. And the reason why is because it's got high mileage, and it was all original when I bought it too, which was the selling point. It had never been repainted or anything, never been involved in an accident. But it's just crazy what people are want for these cars nowadays. It's just it makes my head spin, because being an enthusiast, someone who really enjoyed these cars, took care of it, and had much appreciation for what it is. Because look, at the end of the day, it's a slow car. It's a slow car, but it's 90s nostalgia. It's got amazing handling, and that is a big selling point for this car. Yeah, it's not fast, but boy, does it handle very well. I mean, it kept up with Porsches and Ferraris and Corvettes and Acura NSX at the time, and a bunch of other cool cars, because it handles amazing. I mean, even just on the stock parts, with some good tires, it handles great. I mean, you don't even have to put all these coilovers and all these gadgets and gadgets, because from the factory, this thing was fun on the twisties. But this is just do kind of like a walkthrough. This one's a survivor. You know, the previous owner of me took very good care of it, and I do my best to take care of it as well. The paint looks pretty good for a car that's almost 27 years old. The fact that most of it is original. So this is the interior. You know, not many cars with 207,000 miles look this shape. I've seen cars with half the mileage that look like they're gonna fall apart. This is the interior, you know, no cracks, no warps, no headliner sag. I know. Look at that headliner. The seats look pretty good, except for just one little tear right there. But it looks great with the black Vaders, a proper 5-speed manual. You know, if you get a M3, it needs 3 pedals. I mean, yeah, of course, the modern ones, as they get more faster and more, you know, technology, they have the DCTs, I believe. But you know, at least the E36, you got to get a manual. It's got the onboard computer, which still works. The air conditioning still works. The odometer has a minor glove box sag, but nothing crazy. That's the other door panel. That's the rear seat. Still looks good. You can tell no one's ever really sat inside it. That's the trunk. It's still got the original CD player, and I have all the tools, which is pretty cool, you know. And I got the spare tire, spare rim and tire. But let me pop the hood open and show. So this is the engine bay, the S50, which was the 95 pre-OBD2, you know, factory Dakar Yellow. But pretty much most of the car is original. The only thing that's not is the hood, because when there was impact with the deer, the hood caved in and the radiator support was changed. Both are OEM, original BMW parts, but they're just not the ones that came on the car when it left the factory in 95. But everything else, the nose panel, the bumper, still original. So I want to say like 85% of the car is still original. You know, I've done small little stuff here, like I changed some of the seals, the windshield cowl. I just overhauled all the pulleys, the belts, the engine mounts. I did the, you know, fan clutch, radiator, AC fan. I mean, a lot of work was done within this vicinity, just to make sure that, you know, all the weak points of the car were taken care of. Still got the original engine, never been rebuilt. Always change your oil on time. That's the secret. Use good oil and change it when it needs to be changed. Change your differential oil, because, you know, it's still on the original differential or still original transmission. Fluids, it's funny because that's like the cheapest service you can do, and that's what's going to prolong the life of the car, which a lot of people end up neglecting, and then they kind of give these cars a bad reputation, like, oh, the transmission, the engine. But yeah, it's a lot of it is the fluids, you know. It's because it wasn't done properly on time. The sad part about these cars is a lot of people like to Mickey Mouse things, and then they like to just pass it on to the next person, you know, and like, hey, let it be your problem. You know, they beat on these cars, they abuse them, and that sucks. And that's the thing when you're like an enthusiast, someone like such as myself who really like these cars. I mean, I remember, you know, even like 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I mean, I would have the E36 M3 as my poster car. and people were like into more faster cars and more, you know, exotic. And I mean, people would just think it was an old 3 Series with, you know, different bumpers. But it's crazy now, like all of a sudden everyone it just became an E36 M3 fan. And you got people who don't even know anything about these cars that are just trying to buy it and flip it for a quick buck. And I understand people, that's a means to an income. But my thing is, at least if you're gonna uh, try to sell this car, at least do your homework. At least respect the car, respect the heritage. Um, it's like the best way I can say it. It's like all of a sudden everyone became like a Rolex enthusiast all of a sudden during COVID and fine watches, but it's like they don't really know like basic timepiece movement or just, you know, the heritage or anything. So I mean, I look at it like this: if I was gonna buy a car off somebody, I want to at least take into consideration that they kind of know what they're doing, you know. um, so but yeah, this is pretty much, this is it, you know. The S50 engine, the 240 horsepower, and it's still got all the matching VIN tags, which is really cool, you know. These are the little things that I nerd about, you know. It's got the pretty much everywhere on the door. Let's see, the trunk, the other door. You know, I nerd about these kind of things. And you know what? I still like the fact that I got a cassette player that works. I could listen to Van Halen on cassette. I mean, how cool is that, you know? Most of them, you'll see the cassette players or the CD players don't work, but fortunately, I'm thankful I still have my cassette player. But yeah, this was just a fun story, interesting, remembrance of the deer. Here's some claw marks of the deer when I made impact and it flew across the windshield. These are just the memories of it. So I decided not to repaint the hood. The roof of the car, just because I wanted to keep the originality of the car. So this is just always, I'll remember that incident. But yeah, this is just my my honest review of the E36 M3, which to me is always going to be an under $20,000 car in the used market. And now all of a sudden, these low mileage examples keep coming up. But hey, you know what? Interesting fact about these cars: these cars are so easy to roll back the mileage. And if I can give one advice to people who are looking for these cars, be careful, because it's very easy to roll back the mileage on these cars. It's easier than you think. So when you look at a car, it's got to make sense. If you see a car that supposedly has 50k miles, but it looks like the car was just, used, the interior, this, that, well, hey, that's a red flag, you know, that, hey, maybe the mileage is not, it doesn't correlate to the condition of the car, because there is that. But, you know, I never was scared of high mileage cars, because you know what? The more miles you drive, the more you wear out the parts. And if you really love your car, you're gonna replace what it needs, which is what the previous owner did and what I do. You know, whatever it needed, I gave it. I put the money into it to make sure the car is reliable. It might not look the greatest, but sure as heck, it looks good for a car that's almost 27 years old, and it's got over 200,000 miles on it. So you just got to take care of it as much as you can. But you know, it just sucks that you know, I had a goal of owning a you know, a Daytona Violet and an Estoril, but it's just like, I mean, some of the, the prices that I see these cars going for is just you know, it could be a house in some states, not in California, but in some other states. But yeah, this is just my what my thoughts are on the E36 M3, and just kind of what it is. It's a slow, fun car that handles great, and you can still pick up parts from a local AutoZone. You know, you don't have to overnight parts from Germany and wait, you know, until you know, wait by the at the house until the UPS drops it off. You can go to your local AutoZone, and chances are they have that part that you're looking for. So but yeah, but this is it. Thanks for watching. I hope all have a great day, and just do your due diligence. If you ever buy this car, just you know, make sure that the condition matches the mileage, and you know that if the car ever has been in an accident, just make sure that it was put together correctly, because a lot of people, you know, 90s 80s cars get lost in the tracks. You know, people, some body shops, it might be their first time working on this or assembling this car. So just hopefully if they know what they're doing, putting the car back together, and you know, etc. So but yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks.